Hi everybody, this is Mike Andrew, once again providing a short video with practical insights as it applies to business and leadership. If you saw my last video, we talked about the reality of being political savvy in an organization. For those of you that have ambitions to get on a leadership track, as good as you might be with achieving results and achieving your objectives or KPIs, having that political savvy inside an organization with your relationships and how to deal with those relationships, it's a reality. Similar to that, I want to build up that around political savvy. There's one aspect of it which they don't teach us in business school, they don't teach us in leadership courses, and it's about managing arguably your most important stakeholder, which is your boss. Managing your boss or managing the relationship with your boss. I think that's critical. I came across a quote years ago that always stuck with me, and it says, keep your boss's boss off your boss's back. Keep your boss's boss off your boss's back. How do we do that? Think about it. Your boss, whether he's a great delegator or he's not a good delegator, your boss is under stress, he's under pressure, he's got a larger organization, a larger scope of responsibility, and he's got deliverables on his shoulders that he has to deliver. So, an opportunity to say to your boss, how can I help you? How can I take the load off your back so I can keep your boss's boss off your boss's back? Take on more of a load if you're able to do so. I'm sure he or she is going to appreciate that. It's your key stakeholder, So they teach us how to manage employees, how to manage teams, how to manage customers, but not so much around managing upwards. In this case, managing your boss. I'll give you a few examples. I worked for a company where I was an advisor to a few of the boards in our subsidiaries. And by the way, this works at the most highest level right down to entry level. I remember working with one of the companies where the CEO and the chairman, and the CEO reports into the chairman and the board. And I remember the chairman coming to me and saying, Mike, I'm trying to help the CEO. I'm trying to, he's not even returning my phone calls. I'm like, what? So I went to the CEO. I said, why aren't you returning his phone calls? He's your boss. He's trying to help you. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I need to do a better job. Well, he eventually did. And, things got on track. But boy, if your boss calls you and he's the chairman, you return that phone call. We had another subsidiary where the CEO and chairman talked all the time. So when it came time to the board meeting, things were pretty straightforward. There were no surprises. They were always on the same page. Made a big difference. I worked for a company where I reported to the CEO, and he was part of a very, very well-known family in the country. And I used to have 2 formal meetings a month, which was great. But it wasn't enough for me. So what I did was I made it a point where at least once a week I would go to his office with an update, especially if it was something of substance that I knew he'd be interested in. Again, managing your boss. I had a role with a company where I had a boss who was the youngest vice president in history and the first female vice president in history. And I was frustrated because she wasn't really doing a good job, and I was frustrated. But I eventually got rid of that attitude and went to her, how can I help? Well, eventually she resigned, and she recommended me to be the vice president. Again, managing that relationship, managing that boss. In today's environment with the virus and everyone working at home remotely, there's still great opportunity to manage upwards. Something as simple as on a Monday morning, or send your boss an email, here's my plan for the week, and at the end of the week, here's what I did. Simple. We can control that. Very simple process. I've done that in the past when I worked remotely with other companies, and my bosses always appreciated it. When they were in California and I was in Boston, Monday morning, here's my plan, Friday afternoon, here's what I did, and they loved it. It really went a long way. So I'm just trying to share with you some practical insights about managing upwards and keep your boss's boss off your boss's back. Doing simple things like being proactive, providing updates, following through, and communicating. Think about it. Simple things. I'm not a complicated guy. I'm probably not the brightest guy in the world, but I try to keep things simple and things we can control. Communicate, proactive, update, follow through. We control that. That may distinguish you from others. So that's my advice as it applies to managing a key stakeholder, your boss. Thanks for listening, and as always, I encourage any thumbs up or comments. I love the comments, and I do my best to reply to all the comments. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.